now that they're in a new state, they are going to have to look at new plan options that are available to them in that new state.
If you're going to make that call to your carrier, make sure that you don't actually let them know before you move that you're moving. Yeah, right. Like they
I've
should.
seen that before.
Yeah, and so what ends up happening is when they do that, for the most part, is that like if they call on August 27th to tell the carrier, yeah, I've moved, I'm in California now. They might even say, okay, we'll get you someone, we'll connect you with a call center representative and get you switched over. And then you say, oh, I'll do that when I get there. Okay, no problem. They update your address. September 1st, you're without a plan. So always recommend to that client, don't call ahead. Don't do that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, because they might, on the other hand, they might say, or another very similar scenario, or maybe I'm even going to be saying the same thing here, but if they're telling, maybe they called the agent and they say, look, I'm going to be moving at the end of this month over to Arkansas. Okay, can I switch my plan coverage because I'm going to be there, I'm moving there at the end of the month. So I want to make sure that when I get there, that my new plan coverage is going to be there. And then the last thing you want to do is see them actually make a change, because things can happen. If they don't, maybe they end up pushing that move off for another week or another couple of weeks, or who knows, things can happen. And again, I told you, I mentioned a minute ago, I've seen that. I actually have seen it before where someone says they're going to move. They actually go and make a plan change because they kind of made the assumption that they were moving, and then that move ended up getting put off for a couple more months. But they had already made a plan change to the new plan in the new area and it just turns into a nightmare and a mess. And so you don't want to do that. Make sure the person has actually already moved, and then make the plan change.
The big concern for me is you don't get the new plan set up and you're back on original Medicare for those 2 months. Like for emergency, and then you have a person has an emergency, end up in the hospital. What's the max out of pocket on original Medicare? Right? Like let's not make that mistake, not put yourself in that kind of a situation.
And coach your client through it. If one of your clients calls you and tells you that they're going to be moving to another state, well, if you're licensed there, then, and certified to do business there, then obviously you can still take care of that piece of business. If they're not, then maybe you try to connect with, find another agent that could probably help them there. And maybe you can create a working relationship with that agent. If they're moving to Arkansas and you don't have that Arkansas license, find an agent there. And then maybe in the future, if they've got clients that are moving to your home state, maybe it's an opportunity for you guys to, to trade business moving forward in the future. Again, it might be something that doesn't happen all the time, but at least you have some relationships in place as you build your book of business and you're trying to, set up a good career for yourself in the industry, but also coach your client. So let me get back to that. So you want to coach your client and just make sure that, hey, before you move, make sure that you filled, all of your prescriptions and that they're good to go with their medication. So that way, when they get to their new location, they're not scrambling, maybe waiting for a new card or trying to get their prescriptions filled at the new pharmacy. Make sure that you have all of your prescriptions filled. So that way, when you get over there, and it gives you a little bit of extra time, some cushion to get settled before you have to go and fill your medications again.
So if you like this clip, do me a favor, click right up here so that way you can watch the full podcast, and then also click right up here for more content just like this.